I ended up with the person who bullied me in high school. When dawn crept into the room, I barely moved my arm before the one wrapped around my waist tightened, pulling me closer. Ethan Stone lowered his head to kiss my neck, his voice deep and raspy from just waking up. Did you sleep at all last night? I froze for a moment, then nodded obediently. If this were before, maybe I would have fought back a little, but he spent 3 weeks teaching me one simple lesson: just obey. He took my hand from my side, threading his fingers through mine with obvious interest, interlocking them completely. He buried his face in my hair, laughing softly with amusement. So you didn't throw away the ring I gave you this time? He meant the diamond ring on my left ring finger. There were 2 before this one. I hid the first one in the freezer. I threw the second one into the fountain in the garden downstairs. The consequences those 2 rings brought, I'd rather not think about right now. And the result of this 3rd ring was probably this: I'm going to marry him. This man I once feared more than anyone else in the world. I loved the time I spent in the bathroom, because I didn't have to face him, didn't have to remember certain terrible things. But as I stared blankly at the half mirror above the sink, even the steamy fog couldn't hide the glaring marks all over my body. My eyes were bloodshot red as I stared at myself, until Ethan's deliberate knocking sounded at the door. Taking so long? If you don't come out, I'm coming in. It wouldn't be the first time he barged into the bathroom without warning. I immediately turned off the shower and wrapped myself in a towel. Breakfast was neatly arranged on the table as always, though Ethan probably didn't have time to enjoy it. The TV played the morning news. His fingers were long and elegant as he tied his tie with clean, efficient movements. Seeing that I kept staring at him, he leaned down and tapped my nose. Like what you see. Want to tie it for me next time? I turned my face away. He just laughed softly, unbothered. Then he deliberately picked up the glass of milk I'd been drinking from, pressing his lips right where mine had been, and took a sip. Be good. Wait for me to come home. I'm taking you to look at wedding dresses tonight. Ethan left. I stared blankly at the TV for a long moment. Then I picked up the glass he'd just drunk from and hurled it hard at the television. The TV just shook. The glass shattered on the floor. The loud crash brought startled cries from the servants. I hugged my knees, sitting in place, crying. Ethan Stone was my nightmare. In high school, in that whole group, he bullied me the worst. He stood there all high and mighty and threw every single book from my backpack out the window. He organized the class to isolate me. With his encouragement, those girls dragged me to the bathroom and slapped me across the face. As long as he led the charge in tormenting me, no one dared help me, because Ethan Stone was the son of some big corporate CEO. An entire building at our school was donated by his family. He led the mockery, and back then, even bullying me became trendy in class. I heard his face was the dream of plenty of girls, but to me, he was the demon that kept me awake night after night. This kind of person. And yet, 7 years after graduation, he said he wanted to marry me. I could never break the habit of trembling when I saw Ethan Stone, even though I'd been sharing a bed with him for 3 weeks now. No one would help me. My mom, when she found out someone of Ethan's status wanted to marry me, thought we'd won the lottery. Ethan seemed to have changed cars again. This one had a huge backseat, but I hated cars with big back seats. The privacy screen was already up. No one knew what he and I might do back here. Though today, Ethan was quieter than usual, probably because I kept shaking. The temperature in the car was pretty high, but I was still trembling. He ignored my reaction and pulled me into his arms. Quinn, are you really this scared? The man's low voice brushed against my ear. He knew damn well why I was like this. I'm taking you to pick out a wedding dress in a bit, okay? I tried to control my trembling bit by bit, but I couldn't help the sarcastic laugh that escaped. Who would have thought that the person who pushed me into the abyss step by step would now be speaking so gently about taking me to choose a wedding dress? The shop Ethan took me to was in a private villa. Crystal chandeliers reflected dazzling light, making the wedding dresses displayed on mannequins sparkle brilliantly. I had no interest in looking, no interest in choosing. I let Ethan and the designer chat about what style to custom make for me, let the assistant take my measurements with a tape measure. The shop's back